been suggested to me that I should make a Christmas special. However, I haven't got anything particularly Christmassy or special to show you, so I looked around the house and managed to find 6 objects that I haven't filmed before that I can make quick videos about over the next 6 days, things that I bought on eBay when I may have been a little bit under the influence. But that's not to say that I don't like these things, it's just that maybe it probably wasn't the best way to spend my money. And we'll start off with the only piece of movie memorabilia that I own, and it's David Niven's signature, which hangs on the wall by the door in my studio. Why David Niven? Well, growing up I used to see him on the chat shows as an older gentleman, perfectly charming, but when you watched his films when he was a little bit younger, Paper Tiger, and then going back to Matter of Life and Death, he was the kind of chap that I kind of looked up to in a way. I wanted to be like David Niven when I grew up. Most people want to be like footballers. I wanted to be like David Niven. Now, his signature, interestingly enough, is on a cheque here, and that makes it more interesting to me than it would if it was just signed at the bottom of a photo, because this puts a place and a time and a date. It's 1958, and he's paid a cheque to the French Pavilion restaurant in New York. Now, you can see a photo of that if you do a bit of research on the internet. That's what it looks like on the outside. I believe this gentleman is the owner. It was fine while he owned it, and then it shut down after a few years after he died. It all went downhill. This is what it looks like nowadays on Google Street View, but you can wind that back a few years, 2009, it had a borders in it, and you can see something next to the door there on the wall is a lamp, and if you look at that lamp, it's the same lamp that was on that original black and white photo. So you can do quite a bit of research on the internet and find out a little bit more about this. For example, if we look in Robert Evans' book, The Kid Stays in the Picture, you can actually see it mentioned with David Niven meeting him at the restaurant in New York. So, in addition to just having a cheque, you've also got a bit of information. For example, $70.82. What's that worth nowadays? Well, if you put it into the Dollar Times website, that's currently worth $581. Now, that's quite some meal. Maybe it was a couple of different meals. If you look at the menu, which you can find online for the restaurant as well, remember it shut down in the 60s, this restaurant. These are the prices that were there at the time. It's all in French, of course. It was a French restaurant, and David Niven ended up living in Switzerland, where no doubt he spoke French in later life. Also, notice Security First National Bank of Los Angeles. Later in life, David Niven did an advert for them, advertising traveller's checks, and coming full circle, if you look at the bottom right, you can see on there is his signature. And if you look at that and the 2 dots above it and this big D, you can see that that is the same as the signature written in 1958 on the cheque that hangs in my room by my door. And every time I walk past it, I always try and live up to the image of David Niven or what I wanted to be when I grew up. I don't always manage it, but he's always there to remind me, keep your chin up and try and act a little bit more professional. Anyway, that's it for the moment. As always, thanks for watching.